Introduction. Welcome to this section on personal protective equipment. But wait, what is personal protective equipment or PPE? Well, PPE is equipment that protects you against health or safety risks at work. Examples include safety helmets, gloves, eye protection, safety footwear, high visibility clothing, and safety harnesses. Why is PPE important? Well, even where engineering controls and safe systems have been applied, some hazards may remain. For example, your lungs may be damaged by breathing in contaminated air. Your head and feet might be hit by falling material. Your eyes could become injured by flying particles. Your skin may come into contact with corrosive materials. Your body might be injured due to extremes of heat or cold. PPE is needed in these and many other cases to reduce the risk to you. Now we know how important PPE is, what legislation is it covered by? The provision and safe use of PPE is covered under the Personal Protective Equipment at Work Regulations 1992 as amended. Hearing and respiratory protective equipment are not covered by PPE regulations. Instead, other more specific regulations apply to them. But don't worry, we will still cover these items in this course. What do these regulations require? Well, PPE should always be used as a last resort. Wherever there are risks to health and safety that cannot be adequately controlled by other means, the Personal Protective Equipment at Work Regulations 1992 require PPE to be supplied by your employer. The regulations also require that PPE is properly assessed before use to make sure it is fit for purpose, maintained and stored correctly, provided with instructions on how to use it safely, and used correctly by all employees. In this section, we will look at each of these topics in more detail. Before we do, let's take a look at one last question. What will I be charged for my PPE? The simple answer is nothing. That's right, an employer cannot ask for money from an employee for PPE, whether it is returnable or not. Let's move on and learn how we can assess the suitability of PPE. When you are ready, click Next. Your head. Let's take a look at the hazards and risks that could cause harm to your head. There's impact from falling or flying objects, bumping your head into objects, and hair becoming entangled. What PPE is available, I hear you ask? Well, to protect you from these hazards, there are a range of helmets, hard hats, and bump caps. So, once you assess the hazard, select the appropriate PPE to protect your head. Oh, and don't forget about protecting your neck. For example, there are scarves available for use during welding. You may find that head protection can make it difficult to wear eye or hearing protection, but don't worry, there is a solution. A variety of safety helmets are available that incorporate or can be fitted with specially designed eye or hearing protection. Again, make sure your PPE fits properly and is comfortable to wear, and do not use head protection if it is damaged, for example, cracked or been dropped. Replace it as soon as possible. It's important to note the Employment Act 1989 gives an exemption for turban-wearing Sikhs working on construction sites from the need to wear head protection. Right, let's move on and take a look at the risks, hazards and PPE for breathing. Signs. Welcome to this section on safety signs. Regulations require employers to use safety signs where there is a risk to health and safety that cannot be avoided or controlled by other methods. However, safety signs are not a substitute for other methods of controlling risk, such as engineering controls and safe systems. The safety signs we will look at are prohibition, warning, mandatory, safe conditions, and firefighting. It's important that your employer makes you aware of the meaning and purpose of the signs in your workplace. When you are ready, click Next and we will start by taking a look at prohibition signs. Prohibition signs. The prohibition sign is used to tell you that you must not carry out a certain action. They are a black symbol within a red circle with a diagonal cross through. Common examples of prohibition signs include no smoking, no parking, no naked flames, no eating or drinking, and no forklifts beyond this point. So, if a prohibition sign tells you not to do something, don't do it. Got it? Great. Let's move on to warning signs. Warning signs. Warning signs are used to inform you that a hazard or risk is present. They are a yellow triangle with a black border and symbol. Common examples include danger, high voltage, warning, slippery surface, high noise levels, warning, industrial vehicles operating in area, and poison. Warning signs should alert you and increase your awareness of the potential of hazards and risks. Great. Next up, we will take a look at mandatory signs.